We are back. We're back. We are back. The ESC United jury. It's Matt, Sebastian, Roy, and James. The four of us will talk about the next country on our list, take it apart kindly, and then share our points. Of course, at the very end, we'll show you the scoreboard. We do that every year. So make sure to follow us around, and more videos to come. But I don't want to waste any more time, because next on our journey, our next stop is Croatia. And Croatia, a few years ago, brought back the wonderful Dora national final system. Lots of songs in the running, and every year the juries and the televoters decide on a song. They decided to go with Guilty Pleasure, and I know this is not a pun, it's actually the name of the song, called Guilty Pleasure, performed by Mia Dimsic. I hope I said that probably wrong. But anyway, so she is going to Turin for Croatia, hoping to take the country back to the finals. The last time they made it, I think, was in 2017, right? If I'm not mistaken. So it's been a minute. Can they do it this year? I know there's tough competition out there. Let's talk this through. James, what do you think of the song?
Right. The first thing I like about the song is the image it presents and how it contrasts with the lyrics. So it's got the sort of 90s Lisa Loeb, Natalie Imbruglia vibe to it, but the lyrics, let's say, kind of dirty. So some people commented on how the dancer seemed out of place. Where she's singing like, "Oh, fly away," or whatever it was, and then he's like doing upside down splits, showing his butt in front of her. But it actually goes with the lyrics. If you listen to the lyrics, it's like she's talking about a guy, and lo and behold, it's there's actually two guys. She references a guy she's in a relationship, and then her guilty pleasure, who is the guy who comes in the night and has fun with her. So I do like the dichotomy between the image and the lyrics there. The song is a little slight, and as you can tell with my attempt at lyrics, I kind of forget it a little bit. The melody kind of drifts a bit, but other than that, it's a fine entry.
It's a fine entry, okay. Sebastian.
After 12 months, I'm a little bit worried if I'm ready for next portion of sweetness and sugar. But at the end of the day, she won't eat any face of her dancer, so at least it's gonna be okay in this matter. And with Croatia, I believe that we got the most sweet, colored, poppy song from all these 40 which we get this year in Turin. It's pretty fun. I can applaud James for all these comparisons, because I was listening to the song, reading the lyrics, and I was thinking, hey, this sounds like a High School Musical romance. I have a boyfriend, but he is my guilty pleasure. Yeah. Is she 16? But she's not. But it doesn't matter. She's singing very well. I believe it has own charisma. It makes some climate which can appeal to lots of people. I can't believe it's gonna be the jury, but maybe the audience better, with better results.
Yeah.
But still, it can lax a little bit in the terms of how strong songs on this first semi-final. So let's see. But it's pretty decent song.
That's a decent song, according to Sebastian. Roy, where do you fall?
Yeah, it is just a little bit too much of an album filler for me. Like, it's a fine listen. When I listen to it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is okay. But it doesn't really do anything with me. It doesn't make me angry. It doesn't necessarily make me happy. It doesn't necessarily make me angry. It just doesn't really lead me anywhere. And that is, I guess, the biggest issue with this song, because you always want someone to feel something, to pick up the phone and vote for your song. And it is just not grabbing your attention enough. And in such a strong semi-final, I don't think that this has enough firing power to really excel. I mean, sure, she can prove me wrong, and then I'll gladly eat my words. But as for right now, it's an okay listen. It's just not outstanding enough for me.
That is interesting. I'm kind of sad that I let James go first, because he totally stole my thunder here, because I was going to say the exact same thing. It is so hilarious to me that, because when you don't pay attention closely to the words and lyrics, you're kind of just like, oh, you're going to be my secret, my guilty pleasure, la 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 la. And then she's like, what a slut. You know, it's just like, it's just such a misleading kind of vibe of the song. I think it's genius almost. And I enjoyed that part. I'm, of course, kidding. I'm not slut shaming you. It was just me being dramatic. So, but seriously, this song is so cute. Like, you want to squeeze it and it can breathe no longer because it's so adorable. Now, it gives, and don't give me all looks when I say this, but it gives me a little bit of Love is Forever vibe, at least that kind of genre that is just hated by the Eurovision bubble, and yet it ends up on the left side of the scoreboard all of a sudden, that kind of music. There is a market for this out there, and it's often overlooked. And I think Guilty Pleasure has certain quality to it, with this being a little less, I hate saying bad words, like creepy, because Lothar had a little bit of a creepiness to it, which I don't have with Guilty Pleasure. Now, it is, I think, where you said it has more of an album filler vibe to it, not the one that I think people will be like, oh yeah, there it is. The staging can save it a little. So to me, it is sweet enough, but does it really go above and beyond from what I expect from an entry? Probably not. But it's not bad. It's not as bad as some people make it out to be. That is my point. So let's talk points instead. I'm curious to find out how we're going to rank this. James, what's your score?
So despite the cleverness with, the femme fatale aspect hidden behind the sweet facade, when it comes time to rank songs, I've kind of forgotten about it a bit. So while there's a lot to admire, it is unfortunately a little forgetful, the melody. As Roy said, filler. So that's why I only gave it a 6.
6 points from James. Sebastian, your score?
I believe the lyrics, staging, and whole song can be more sophisticated, but still, I believe it's a pleasant time, these 3 minutes with Guilty Pleasure. I'm not sure it's gonna advance, but for me it's 6.5, so pretty close to James.
6.5. Roy, what's your score?
Yeah, it's an enjoyable song when it comes on shuffle, and I don't skip it, and that's always a good thing. It's not gonna stand out, and I also gave it a 6.
Oh my god, I better switch things up here, because all these 6.5 are a little boring. So my score in the end is actually 6 points. So yes, I just gave it's just exactly where you would expect to sit it. So now the question is, did the rest of the team kind of feel the same way? Is it a little higher? Is it a little lower? Well, let's find out together. The overall score from Team United for Croatia's Guilty Pleasure is 5.64. So it's a little lower. So there are probably a few more 5s and 5.5s from our team handed out there. But I think, Roy, kind of like what you were nodding. I kind of like that's what you expected.
I mean, it's about where we had it as well, just a little bit lower, I guess. There will also be people who like it just a little bit less, or who rank songs like this a bit lower. Like, they may have the same criticisms, but just give it a less of a good grade because it doesn't stand out enough. So yeah, people have different systems, so this makes sense for a score.
Yeah, and Sebastian, you had also maybe as subconscious, not unconscious. So you kind of feel the same way?
Absolutely. I believe that it's pretty romantic that we came to the same conclusion as a team. Pretty close.
We're just professionals. I know, we're just so good. So the question is, now everyone else can yell at us for disagreeing, even though we're all on the same page here. Do you think this is the right score? Were we too kind, or were we too harsh? Whatever it is, let us know in the comment section. And we are moving on. See you in the next video.